Throwing an item in the trash is often much cheaper than recycling, at least in the short term. In part one of our series that we aired for you last night, we reported it could cost hundreds of dollars to recycle 1 ton of waste. It's only about $50 a ton to throw it in the landfill, but tonight we're going to look at whether saving that money is worth it in the long run. Here's our Chad Mira.
It's not a pretty sight, but it's an active one. So far this year, Fayetteville has thrown 46,000 tons of waste in the Town landfill, compared to about 3,200 tons recycled. The waste reduction coordinator for the city of Fayetteville would like to see a lot more recycling.
Getting a value of $100 a ton versus paying, $50 a ton for landfill disposal. That's the difference.
And the city thinks it's definitely doable.
Right now we have about a 20% diversion rate, and that's made up of, last time I checked, about a 9% recycling and 11% compost.
About 30% of the waste in Fayetteville is food waste, and if we can try to work with businesses and residents in the future to divert that from their waste stream, then we should see some real diversion.
But for now, 80% of our waste ends up here. Pew says it costs the city $50 a ton to use the Town landfill. Nationwide, that cost is rising. According to the EPA, the average in the south central U.S. nearly 20 years ago was just $22 a ton. And Pew says you need to look long-term, especially since Town has the area's only landfill.
The landfilling of waste here in northwest Arkansas is going up because we have one landfill. That will be filling up in roughly 20-25 years.
Once that's full, there are more costs.
We'll be having to ship that waste to another location. Those costs will go higher at that point.
According to a 2014 report by the EPA, just the design and permit process for a new landfill can cost $750,000. Then construction costs add up to another $770,000 per acre. That's one of the reasons the city wants to make sure recyclables stay out of the trash.
Contamination is a real issue in recycling.
Pew says you need to keep your recyclables clean and stay up on what is recyclable.
We leave a lot of materials at the curb that are not readily recyclable. I know in particular with the plastics, a lot of people want to recycle every piece of plastic they can, but the reality of the markets today are that they want bottles.
Because it could save us a lot of money decades down the road.
That was Fox 24's Chad Mira. Now, he also examined some of the major costs associated with recycling in part one of his series. You can see that story right now. All you have to do, head to fox24news.tv.